Hi, welcome. Thanks for joining us for the launch of a transformational initiative for newcomers led by Immigrant Services Calgary. My name is Rona Del Freri, and I'm the Vice Chair of the Immigrant Services Calgary Board of Directors. But today I'm serving as a moderator for this event. We'll be getting details of this announcement shortly from the Board Chair and CEO of Immigrant Services Calgary. And the Minister of Immigration, Refugees and Citizenship Canada will talk to us about the value it will bring for newcomers to this country. Then we're going to open it up for questions and comments with media prioritized since they're working on a deadline. I'll give you instructions now on how to ask a question later. To be placed in line, please use the Q&A function on your Zoom screen. If you want to verbally ask the question, simply state, "I have a question," and we'll bring your video and audio live when it's your turn and I call upon you. Or you can simply type the question in the Q&A section and I will read it out loud. If you're doing that, please include your name and organization if it's not already included in your sign-in. For those of you who are only on the phone and not through Zoom, you'll need to email questions to communications@immigrantservicescalgary.ca. Now I'm going to turn it over to Immigrant Services Calgary Board Chair, Shirley Phillips.
On behalf of the Board of Directors of Immigrant Services Calgary, I want to welcome all of you to the launch of the exciting initiative called Gateway. For more than 4 decades, Immigrant Services Calgary has been providing settlement support for immigrants to help them successfully integrate into their new lives. We offer language, employment, counseling, and other services. Last year alone, we worked with about 24,000 clients from 84 languages, speaking 172 languages. The programs and services we provide are a key part of building a healthy, vibrant, engaged, and economically prosperous city. With our focus on innovation and technology, we've been able to successfully transition most of our programming to the virtual world to address COVID challenges. Gateway is a new approach to supporting newcomers to the region that provides one access point to the entire network of services available. Its goals are to increase awareness of the support available to newcomers and help them access these services so that we have a better chance of succeeding in their home. Immigrant Services Calgary is leading the Gateway pilot in collaboration with over 30 community partners. I do want to recognize the Calgary Local Immigration Partnership, Center for Newcomers, Cité des Rochus, the Immigrant Education Society, and the University of Calgary Faculty of Social Work for joining us as members of the Gateway Advisory Council. I would now like to ask the Honorable Marco Mendocino, Minister of Immigration, Refugees and Citizenship Canada, to say a few words about the federal government's significant support for the Gateway project. Thank you.
Merci, Shirley. Thank you, Shirley, and good afternoon, everyone. It is so great to be with you all for this very, very exciting day. In fact, it's not the first time, as you know, that I've been with you. One of my last trips, in-person trips, was in March of 2020, which seems like an eternity ago, where we had a wonderful visit. And I just want to say to you, Hyder, that I still have that pin of yours, which you so graciously gifted to me, a wonderful token of I think, of the strong relationship that exists between the Government of Canada and certainly us personally, and all of the work that you are doing on the ground, for which we're so grateful for. And I remember the words on that pin where, you know, there's a big, big sign that says, you know, don't be afraid to fail, be afraid not to try. And that is exactly what we have done today in partnership with you, is break up the status quo, look for new innovative ways to deliver wonderful services to aspiring Canadians and immigrants. And I just want to say thank you, Hyder, again for that great gift. As a son of immigrants and as a minister of immigration, I've heard so many stories of hope and hard work, and I've also known how important the community is to help with the successful settlement and integration in Canada. Immigrant Services Calgary is a true model of that support. Les organismes communautaires jouant un rôle essentiel dans le soutien aux immigrants et aux réfugiés qui cherchent à commencer une nouvelle vie au Canada. With the launch of the Gateway pilot, Immigrant Services Calgary has introduced a new approach to delivering high-quality services to ensure successful settlement and integration outcomes. By using a more centralized and digital approach and standardized data to address the needs of individual immigrants and their families, the Gateway project is an innovative and much needed step toward improving newcomer experiences. For my department, we must constantly review and evaluate our services so that we are able to adapt and innovate and respond to what is needed for newcomer successes. However, we can't do it alone. To work effectively, we need to foster integration at a local community level with people. Fostering community connections is critical to our common success. These partnerships have proven very successful in increasing dialogue and fostering integrated planning. It is yet another way to engage key players like you from all levels of government, including in the cities and in the immigration space. This has been a year like no other. All sectors have been affected, and immigration is not immune. For people immigrating to a new country, the many restrictions, advisories, and warnings associated with COVID-19 have complicated and challenged what can already be a stressful journey. The Gateway project will go a long way to facilitate that transition in Southern Alberta. Au cours des 5 prochaines années, vous pourrez mesurer le succès de cette initiative tant sur le plan de son accès par les clients et de son efficacité à diriger les nouveaux arrivants vers les bons services au bon moment. Over the next 5 years, you will be able to measure the success of this initiative, both in terms of its accessibility to clients and its effectiveness in connecting newcomers with the right services at the right time. I want to sincerely congratulate everyone at the team at Immigration Services Calgary on the launch of this important initiative. Thank you, Hyder. Thank you, Shirley. Thank you, Rona. Thank you to everybody on the team for your incredible work on this most important initiative, helping people in need to start their new journey in Canada with the strongest foundation. Well done. Thank you. Merci.
Thank you so much, Minister Mendicino. We really appreciate your kind words. And I'm sure there will be some questions coming up for you just in a short while. I'd now like to share with everybody a message from the Honourable Jason Copping, Alberta's Minister of Labour and Immigration.
Hi, I'm Jason Copping, Minister of Labour and Immigration. On behalf of the Government of Alberta, Premier Kenney, and all of my caucus colleagues, I want to congratulate Immigrant Services Calgary on the tremendous work that they're doing on the Newcomer Gateway project. Newcomers form a vital piece of Alberta society and economy, and this project will help those who are coming to our province and to the city of Calgary and surrounding areas integrate and get to work faster and get the services that they need. So once again, congratulations to Immigrant Services Calgary on driving forward on this very important project.
Now what I would like to do is turn it over to our CEO at Immigrant Services Calgary, Hyder Hassan, to provide more details about the initiative. Hyder?
Thank you. Thank you, Rona, and thank you, Masibaku, Minister Mendicino. Before I get into the explanation of how Gateway will work, I think it's important for me to explain why we felt there was a need for it. Many agencies are providing great services, but our team saw the opportunity to make the system more effective for newcomers. And currently, it's not as obvious for newcomers on how to access settlement services. The system may be confusing to navigate. Tracking of each client's progress is currently difficult or impossible when they move between agencies. That has contributed to only 4 in every 10 immigrants to Canada accessing supports. Newcomers are falling through the cracks and having their civic, economic, and social integration pushed back by years. But rather than have me explain what it's like for newcomers, we've asked a couple of recent immigrants to Canada to share their viewpoints.
I came from my beloved country, Lebanon, to Canada. I've been in Canada for only 1 year. Honestly, the first month in Canada was a little bit challenging because first you don't have like any car, no license. Transportation is really hard. I suffered from my daughter. She's 5 years old. She used to go to kindergarten. Well, I used to take her by the bus. We had to wait for the bus like 10 minutes, 5 minutes. It was really cold. My daughter was crying. She told me, "Mom, I don't want to stay in Canada. It's very cold." The second thing we struggled is that we had to do some government papers. This was really horrible because like sometimes you call something related to the government, they just keep you on hold, and sometimes they didn't answer. Sometimes you were confused. Here, you need to do everything through phone calls. The third thing is the weather in Canada. The weather is horrible, honestly.
Basically, I'm a mechanical engineer, and I come from southern part of India. So, while coming to Canada, I didn't had any idea about the life here and how, my settlement would have been here. Like, I didn't had any idea about the banking system here. So, but the financial coach of Immigrant Services, he actually gave me a clear idea about how the banks work here, what is the relevance of the credit score here. So, like, even if I have to own my own house or own car, the the credit score is, something which is very important. And he gave me the ideas how should I maintain the credit score. So that was, the most important part that, I got here from my financial coach. Also, I would like to, thank Immigrant Services Calgary for all the services they have provided for me from, landing in Canada till I get a job here. So, and for making me the Canada feel like home.
And I just want to say something about the rentals in Canada are really expensive. Like, we pay a lot. So like if at least for the first 2 years they can like give us like cheaper rental, then we will work, we will have money. And I also want to say something about the job. It's really hard to find a job. I believe that we will find a job, but it's really hard. It takes time. It takes time to have connections also in Canada. It's really hard, but I like it. I love Canada. I really thank the Immigrant Calgary service for giving such services and for giving hope to newcomers in Canada.
To conclude, what Serene and Vineet were saying was that their stories are validating why Gateway is going to be necessary for the success of newcomers. And we want to thank them for sharing their stories. I have to add so much more that they shared, but in the interest of time, I want to thank Vivia Digital Films for volunteering to produce that video for us. At Immigrant Services Calgary, we decided to do something about the challenges newcomers face in trying to navigate support systems. So with the help of qualitative and quantitative research, we came up with the idea of Gateway just over a year ago. Gateway is being designed to quickly match Alberta newcomers with supports they need to integrate and succeed. It involves additional means of outreach to create awareness of the services available, including the Welcome to Alberta app designed by Immigrant Services Calgary to allow newcomers to start planning for their settlement even before they arrive to Canada. A big shout out to our colleague Daniel Wu for creating that app. Gateway involves standardized assessments for immigrant newcomers who need help with a range of applications, language, employment, counseling, education, health, and family services. Based on their specific needs, immigrants will be matched more quickly and effectively with available programs at participating agencies. A caseworker, which we're now calling a newcomer planner, will stay with them to provide support throughout their journey. A central source of data and learnings, a knowledge hub, will help to reduce duplication and identify gaps within the system, improve agencies' programming practices, and anticipated needed programs based on emerging trends. This is what we're calling it the Immigrant Services Gateway, which I'll bring up in my illustration. To illustrate what I mean, here's a flow chart of how a newcomer and possibly entire family will be supported along the Gateway system. They will become aware of Gateway through enhanced outreach from the get-go. Once they're in the system, a standardized needs assessment is performed. This is the first step to create the settlement plan. They're then referred to various services provided by community agencies. Depending on their needs, they may be supported by one agency or multiple agencies. A newcomer planner will follow them through their entire journey to ensure their needs are being met and will update the settlement plan as required. Data will be collected along the way in an anonymous manner, so analysis can be done on areas in need of improvement, and agencies can receive feedback on what's working well with their programming and what needs to be adjusted. This data may also be needed to help influence policy decisions related to help improve services for future newcomers. We're now working with our partners on the program design, and the pilot begins from now until early 2022, and we'll scale it up with additional community partners who interact with newcomers by early 2025. I'm happy to answer your questions momentarily, but first, let's take this moment to officially launch the Gateway pilot.
Great, thanks so much for that, Hyder. We're now going to open up to questions, and the minister is still with us to answer questions, as well as Hyder, and Shirley, if you have some broader board questions. What I'd like to do as a reminder right now is for if you have a Q&A or a question, go into the Q&A tool that you can see at the bottom of your Zoom. If you want to ask a question, just state, I have a question, and we'll bring up your video and audio when it's your turn. And otherwise, you can simply type the entire question out there and I can read it out for everybody to see. Now, those of you, as a reminder, if you're on the phone only, please email your questions to communications@immigrant-services-calgary.ca. And I will say it's very unfortunate you couldn't hear from Vineeth and Serene, those wonderful newcomers. And so we will commit to trying to put their videos up on our social media feed. So please follow us on our social media channels as well. So let's see if we can get to some questions. So we will try as well to deal with the reporters first, so media first. And maybe let's start with a general question for you, Hyder. And it's really about, talk to us a little bit more about the need for Gateway and what's really different with Gateway than the way the current system operates.
Thank you for that, Rona. What's different about Gateway are three main points. And the point number one is that we know that a problem existed within the system designed to serve newcomers. So most people who move to Canada are not accessing the services available to them. So we decided to take a bold step towards addressing that, and we developed the vision for Gateway. Point number two is that Gateway has the potential to not only transform our own organization, Immigrant Services Calgary, but that of the entire settlement sector through greater use of technology, data management, and the adoption of best practices. Finally, Gateway's Knowledge Hub sets this initiative apart. The power of aggregated anonymized data and trends offers immense potential for significant program improvements, and it's also invaluable information for researchers and policy makers, including the minister.
Great, thanks, Hyder. And now, Minister, I'm actually going to throw over to you, so I hope you're ready. Minister, can you talk a little bit more about how the Gateway pilot project fits into the federal government's broader idea of how to support newcomers that are coming to this country? Oh, 1 second, Minister. I believe we still have you on mute. One moment, please.
Thanks, Rona. It's got to happen at least once. And just with regards to the technical difficulties, what we're doing today with regards to immigration is going to echo for many, many generations to come in a positive way. So this is a great initiative. I actually had the chance when I visited last March to see the app on display and see it illustrated, and saw how user-friendly it was and how many different ways it can support aspiring Canadians and newcomers to get access to the services that they need to navigate the immigration process, which can be at times somewhat complex, just given the many different pathways that we have and the choices, but also to provide that basic knowledge of when immigrants are landing in Calgary and in the surrounding southern Alberta area, so that they know where their health care is, where they're able to get some financial support and education for their children. So my ability to see that app on display really sort of helped open my eyes of the ways in which this will help aspiring newcomers on their journey in becoming Canadian. And so, you know, the fact that it's online, the fact that it's digital, and perhaps most importantly, that it's available even prior to arrival is a great, I think, value to those who are looking to take that next step towards immigrating to Canada, and more specifically to Alberta. So I see this as very much an important tool for aspiring newcomers, and that's one of the main reasons why my department has been so happy to partner with you in delivering it.
Thanks so much for that great answer, Minister. Now we're going to go to some of the questions that are coming in. And we have a question here from Sally Zhao. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. A question for Haider. How would you see the non-core settlement agencies would be involved, engaged in, and contribute to Gateway? So you had mentioned earlier there were about 30 community partners. Haider, what role do you see them playing?
Yeah, thank you for that great question. So I'll start off by saying that Gateway will be a standardized needs assessment, settlement planning, and referral methodology and practices across agencies, which includes the big settlement agencies from the get-go. It will allow case managers to track a client's progress throughout their settlement journey and conduct appropriate follow-up. And it means that clients don't have to do the assessments at every agency that they access. And the assessment data, based on the client's permission, will be shared by other providers through the app and other means. So newcomers will be authorizing which specific data can be shared with the partner agencies and to whom they'll be referred. And in order for us to scale this out, the key consideration for which programs a newcomer will be referred to are the following three. Number one will be settlement support needs. Number two will be the language capability. And number three is the proximity to the newcomer's residence. So partner agencies will actually enter the system, enter the program and criteria into the Gateway system. Referrals are then intended to be objective and transparent and account for newcomer preferences. Thank you for that good question.
Thanks, Haider. And now we have somebody that's willing to come on camera and ask their question. We're going to go to Anila at the Center for Newcomers.
Hi, everyone. That was really neat. All of a sudden, my whole screen changed. Thank you so much. Thank you very much to Shirley and Haider, to yourself and to our minister. This is really exciting, I think, for the settlement sector in Calgary. I know that the Center for Newcomers, we're really excited to participate. We're really excited about how we can find new and innovative ways to help our newcomers. My question is for anyone who would like to answer this, is that you know, none of us expected to be going into the pandemic. And I know that there was a lot of plans and a lot of work that many of us have been doing over the course of the last 2 years to really ensure that we can launch and start working on this project together. What kind of provisions or what kind of changes do you anticipate with the ongoing pandemic? And how might Gateway actually help us or hinder us from doing that work? Thank you.
And so let's go, thanks for that question. Let's go to Haider first, and then Minister, maybe I'll let you talk a little bit about your department's efforts to help newcomers during this time of COVID. I'll throw to you after Haider.
Thank you, Anila. Thanks for your support and a really good question. So one of the things that really differentiates Gateway is the Knowledge Hub. And the power of aggregated anonymized data and trends offers immense potential for us for significant program improvements. And how are we going to do that? Through use of greater technology, data management, and adoption of best practices, which also includes the pandemic right now. The other thing is, right now, the premise of Gateway is to focus on the client and identify their specific needs. And the Gateway system refers to the overall approach to delivering entire services in an online environment, so which includes defining roles and training, rules for standardized assessments, with while protecting newcomer privacy. The technical backbone of Gateway is usually referred to as a platform. It's not just one piece of software, but a tightly integrated combination of secure data center. You'll have a configured software workflow, printable forms, and portals that will allow agencies to retrieve information and reports. So the Gateway system then will flow into the Knowledge Hub, where again, the current pandemic we've actually pivoted really quickly, and we had to test it out. And we were doing some beta testing and providing some reports to other agencies and to the minister's office. So thanks again for your question. I'll turn it over back to Rona.
And I'll turn it right over to the minister, Minister Mendicino.
Well, I think in a COVID era, we've demonstrated that we can still immigrate safely and orderly, and that is a good thing both for the people who wish to become Canadian and equally for our economy and for the overall resilience and strength of our country. There are three ways in which I think we're advancing this. One, I think internally within the department, we are constantly looking at ways to innovate and create more digital platforms. And I think, that leads to the second, which is having robust relationships with organizations like Immigration Services in Calgary, and to really collaborate on, like the Gateway project and the Knowledge Hub, and having, apps like Welcome Alberta Welcome. I mean, those are precisely the kinds of concrete initiatives that show that we can innovate, that we can leverage technology to make it more digital, and to do so in a really, in a really forward-thinking way. And then finally, supporting the population, the newcomer population when they get here, by investing in our settlement services and by ensuring that they've got access to those services as quickly as they get here. So I think that is what a COVID-19 era plan looks like for immigration, and I'm very excited to be doing this in collaboration with all of you.
Thanks, Minister. And while I have you here, I'm going to keep you to answer the next question first and then throw it over to Haider. And so both you and Haider have talked about the Knowledge Hub and the importance of Knowledge Hub and how that's unique to Gateway. Maybe talk a little bit about how that anonymous data that that will be provided out of Gateway can be used by policymakers and by programmers for their programming.
For sure. And look, I think that the Knowledge Hub is another concrete example of how we're innovating in the immigration space. But it is important that we do safeguard the privacy of everyone's personal information. And, this actually takes me back to my old job when I used to be a lawyer. It's really, really important that people understand that when we are gathering and collecting this information, that we are taking into consideration the need to protect everyone's expectation of privacy. But once that's done and we're able to look at some of those numbers, we're able to better plan for the needs of aspiring Canadians and immigrants who do wish to come to Canada, to make sure that we understand where we need more education, where we need more skills training, where we need more health, where we need more services right across the continuum. And we can do that better by looking at some of that disaggregated data and information so that we can better plan how to support those critical services. So I think the Knowledge Hub is a great tool, a great mechanism by which we can accomplish this objective. And look, I'll just say, there's no country that does this better than Canada. I mean, we have been recognized by the OECD as being the best in the world, the best in show when it comes to integrating immigrants. And I think the Knowledge Hub will see us continue to do that.
Thanks, Minister. I'm going to throw it over to Haider to talk about what he sees as the benefits and the potential of Knowledge Hub. And then I think, seeing no other questions, one last call for questions for everybody into the Q&A tool. And other than that, after Haider's answer, we'll throw back to the Minister for some closing comments. But Haider, talk to us about your vision for Knowledge Hub.
Sure. Thank you so much, Rona. I appreciate that. And thank you, Minister, for your comments. So just to echo what the Minister said, a top priority is ensuring the security of client information. This project will not proceed until there is certainty that the data will be protected. So we have confidence in that. We are working with system providers that have extensive experience in this data. All the Gateway system and all newcomer data will be resident in Canada. Data collected will include immigration status, first language, time in Canada, education, employment status, English, French fluency, family and life stage, and income support. So newcomers will be authorizing what specific data can be shared with other partner agencies to whom they will be referred. And the data for each newcomer will be collected in alignment with the social determinants of health framework, which is used by support agencies to advance their settlement plan. And that's why our partnership with the Faculty of Social Work at the University of Calgary is so critical.
All right, thanks, Hyder. Now, seeing no additional questions, I am going to throw it over to Minister Mandicino for his final comments, and then back over to you, Hyder, at the end.
Not much more to add except just to say a big thank you. This is a great example of the ongoing collaboration between the government and great grassroots organizations like yours to deliver on immigration, notwithstanding the challenges of the current pandemic. And as I have said repeatedly, I believe immigration is going to be a great accelerator of our economic recovery. And it's obviously going to continue to enrich our society and the fabric of our country. And I'm so proud to have been able to enjoy and celebrate this moment with you, to be present for the digital ribbon cutting, and looking forward to many, many more positive outcomes in the future. So with that, thank you so much. And please continue on with this great work. It's really quite phenomenal.
Thanks, Minister. And Hyder, you get the last word today.
Thank you so much, Ronan. Appreciate that. Thank you, Minister, and all the dignitaries and the board chair, Shirley Phillips. Thank you for your support. This wouldn't have been possible without your support, and to all my team as well, Immigrant Services Calgary team. And I would like to recognize again the Center for Newcomers, the Immigration Education Society, CITE, Calgary Local Immigration Partnership, and Faculty of Social Work at University of Calgary, because you're going to play a huge part in the first phase of this development. I'll conclude with my 3 points again. We knew that a problem existed within the system designed to serve newcomers, and most newcomers are not accessing these services available to them. So we decided to take a bold step to address that, and we co-developed this vision for Gateway. Second, Gateway has the potential to transform Immigrant Services Calgary and other settlement agencies through the use of technology, data management, and adoption of best practices. Finally, Gateway's Knowledge Hub sets this initiative apart. The power of aggregated and anonymized newcomer data and trends offers immense potential for significant program improvements. It's also invaluable information for researchers, policymakers, and imagine a dashboard flowing up to the minister next time, where the minister can actually see the trends. And so that will help the minister make important decisions to ensure that Canada continues to be the top country in the world to live, work, and play. Thank you, Rona.
And that concludes our event. Thanks to all for joining.
Thank you. Merci.
Merci beaucoup.